Since the rise of mass society and liberal democracy, humanity has entered a kind of conundrum. Specifically in times where we try to uphold values such as free speech and a free press, the control of the mass media and the invasiveness of thought control through mechanisms of mass media have become ever more pervasive and ever more invasive into our deeper structures of thought. It is crucial in any society that allows free thought and free expression, paradoxically, to restrict the spectrum and narrow down the possibilities of opinions that can be expressed in such a society. If there is no further grounding factor, no unifying principle, at least not officially, such as a common religion or a common national culture, then one needs to find other means of controlling what opinions and what perspectives on the world are permitted. Often we have that expressed in a kind of commitment to common law, to the Constitution, to our liberal principles, but if these liberal principles are only understood in a negative way, namely the absence of traditional restrictions, then it cannot serve as a positive basis on which we can all agree to certain cultural factors. In this sense, we need propaganda. We need something that uses technology, uses the mass media to restrict what can be said and what is permitted in the society so that a wild dissociation and unrestricted flow of opinions and positions doesn't lead to the disintegration and instability of the system as a whole. Edward Bernays wrote his famous book Propaganda and began by speaking about this dynamic of organizing chaos. Quote, Chapter 1: The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. This is a logical result of the way in which our democratic society is organized. Vast numbers of human beings must cooperate in this manner if they are to live together as a smoothly functioning society. Note how he focuses specifically on democratic society. As in democratic society, it becomes ever more important what each citizen thinks. The opinion and the vote of each citizen is crucial. In older paradigms of power, those based on the sovereign authority of some monarch, it was less relevant what a peasant believed and what farmers believed how the state should be run. However, once everybody, at least allegedly, is engaged in the political process, it becomes crucially important that everyone agrees to at least some core principles so that the core stability of the society is maintained. Therefore, it is exactly democracy that leads to an increased form of control, of mind control. Specifically, if you go back to the more fundamental principles and fundamental definitions of such notions such as democracy, if you look at Plato's and Aristotle's understanding of these terms, then democracy represents a precursory stage to anarchy or tyranny, a stage in which the peasant mob has overthrown a corrupt oligarchy and thus is disintegrating society which then requires the rise of a new tyrant. In that sense, the rise of fascist and socialist ideologies in the 20th century can be understood from that lens as excesses of democratic paradigms of control, namely systems in which the opinion of the masses mattered so much that it was crucial and of utmost importance to consistently maintain a radical form of mind control of the masses. In some senses, this lack of democratic populist principles in the ages after the Second World War could be understood as a decrease in pure democracy and a re-establishment of a kind of aristocratic elite that maintains a liberal cultural paradigm. That is exactly this elite, this minority of which Bernays speaks when he speaks of these invisible governors that are managing public opinion in democratic societies. If you want to learn more about power and its mysterious inner workings, I invite you to join the course on the dynamics of power at Halcyon Guild. Link is in the description.